Toyota recently made one of the boldest and most daring moves in the automotive industry, challenging the sweeping trend of an all-electric future. Instead of following the crowd, Toyota has reignited the spirit of innovation by breathing fresh life into internal combustion engines. Their CEO confidently stated that this revolutionary engine will shake the very foundations of the car industry as we know it. But this bold choice wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. It was a calculated move that carries the weight of both risk and vision for the future. Toyota's dedication to keeping the internal combustion engine alive has been a core aspect of their strategy for some time. Their engines, known for their reliability, have helped Toyota stay ahead of the competition. It only makes sense for them to continue modernizing these engines to maintain that lead. With this latest development, Toyota has outdone itself. This new technology is even more revolutionary than the hybrid technology they pioneered with the Prius. The importance of this breakthrough cannot be overstated. Now, you're probably wondering, what exactly is this new technology? It's Toyota's all-new hydrogen combustion engine technology. This is not to be confused with hydrogen electric vehicles like the Toyota Mirai. Instead, Toyota is working on hydrogen combustion engines. While hydrogen electric vehicles like the Mirai have been underwhelming in terms of performance, being underpowered, heavy, and impractical, Toyota's new hydrogen combustion engine aims to overcome those shortcomings. Despite the ecological benefits of hydrogen, being the most abundant element and eco-friendly, Toyota recognized the limitations of its electric hydrogen vehicles. Lithium-ion batteries, which are widely used in electric cars, have faced criticism for their environmental impact, as lithium mining can harm the soil and water. Additionally, even with advancements in battery technology, the range and charging time of these vehicles are still issues. By combining the strengths of internal combustion engines with the ecological benefits of hydrogen, Toyota aims to eliminate the problems associated with both technologies. BMW had already explored hydrogen combustion technology in the late 1990s and early 2000s, showing promise with their hydrogen-powered E38 and E65 V12 engines. However, at the time, hydrogen infrastructure was virtually non-existent, which kept the technology in the prototype phase. Thanks to Toyota's efforts with the Mirai, hydrogen infrastructure has significantly improved, giving Toyota the backing it needs to develop hydrogen combustion engines. Toyota currently has two hydrogen engines in development. The first is a 1.6-liter turbocharged 3-cylinder engine, which is similar to the one found in the GR Yaris and GR Corolla. This engine retains much of the character of its gasoline counterpart, even sounding just as growly despite using hydrogen. The second engine is a 5.0-liter V8, derived from the Lexus RCF. This engine is designed for use in larger vehicles like pickup trucks and SUVs. The most impressive part? Both engines retain nearly all of their power after being converted to hydrogen, with only a negligible drop in output. However, in order to make these engines reliable while running on hydrogen, several modifications were necessary. The fuel system, for instance, had to be redesigned to handle the pressurized hydrogen, including changes to the fuel pump, injectors, and fuel tanks, which are similar to those used in the Toyota Mirai. The ignition system was also replaced with a different type of spark plug to ignite hydrogen more efficiently, and the engine control unit, ECU, was updated to optimize performance and fuel efficiency. Additionally, structural changes were made to parts like the valves, head gaskets, and crankshaft to ensure the engine could handle hydrogen's reactivity and maintain durability. As a result of these extensive modifications, both the 1.6-liter and 5.0-liter hydrogen engines maintain most of the performance figures of their gasoline-powered counterparts while being just as fuel efficient. The 1.6-liter engine has already been tested in vehicles like the Toyota GR Yaris and Corolla, and the 5.0-liter engine is set to be tested in larger vehicles like the Land Cruiser, Tundra, and Sequoia. But as with any new technology, there are challenges. The biggest challenge is the acquisition of hydrogen. While hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe, it's rarely found on its own and usually needs to be extracted from compounds, which requires an expensive process called electrolysis. As of now, driving a hydrogen-powered car is over 14 times more expensive than driving an electric vehicle, making the adoption of this technology costly. Hydrogen is not something you want to hear about when competing against EVs, especially since the electrolysis process requires electricity, which defeats the purpose of replacing EVs with something more eco-friendly. Furthermore, even if hydrogen could be extracted cheaply by some miracle, another problem presents itself: storing it. Hydrogen is a highly reactive gas, and its storage is a delicate ordeal that requires perfect conditions to be safe. This issue is particularly evident when storing hydrogen in a car, as it requires specific armored tanks. Hydrogen, being highly corrosive, can easily escape any space due to its structure. So hydrogen tanks need to be almost bulletproof, making them much heavier than regular tanks and even heavier than batteries in some cases. This, in turn, lowers the range and performance of vehicles that use hydrogen while also making the interior space more cramped due to the size of the tanks. Additionally, despite the infrastructure being better than it used to be in the 2000s, it is still far from reliable and user-friendly for daily use. There are only a handful of hydrogen charging points worldwide, making hydrogen fuel quite unreliable for day-to-day use. Finally, as mentioned earlier, hydrogen is a highly reactive gas, meaning if it escapes, it could spontaneously combust, potentially leading to fatal outcomes, something nobody wants. Despite the grim situation for hydrogen, Toyota is determined to find solutions to these issues soon. Toyota has had no rest since revealing their first hydrogen combustion engine and has been working hard on solving the mentioned problems. First is the acquisition of hydrogen. Toyota is counting on the expansion of hydrogen, not just in the car industry, but across all industries and commercial spheres. This might sound optimistic, but hydrogen's popularity is rapidly increasing in every way possible. Shipbuilders are vocal about switching to hydrogen combustion engines, modern cities are gradually starting to rely on hydrogen farms, and various industries are beginning to utilize it as a viable power source. Moreover, with the increased reliance on hydrogen, the price of the gas will significantly lower over time. While we are still far from truly affordable hydrogen, we can expect an exponential decrease in price as its use increases. Although hydrogen may not become cheaper than electricity, it will most certainly be much cheaper than gasoline. Additionally, Toyota is doing its best to lower fuel consumption, which would reduce running costs. Regarding the tanks, if well maintained, they shouldn't cause too much trouble. Just be sure to inspect them regularly. And let's not forget the price factor. Unlike EVs, which require extensive processing to become usable, hydrogen combustion engines are just a regular old lump of metal that is fast and cheap to produce, making them ideal for mass production. However, there is another technology that Toyota is developing as a basis for hydrogen cars: Toyota's new Ammonia engine. Toyota recently began exploring the possibility of using hydrogen safely by not separating it from the compound it is part of. Their extensive research led to the idea of using ammonia as a propellant. While water may seem like the obvious choice for a hydrogen container, extracting hydrogen from it is currently a nightmare. Storing hydrogen, as already mentioned, is also problematic, which is where ammonia comes in. Ammonia, consisting of nitrogen and hydrogen, serves as an excellent middle ground for further hydrogen development. Unlike water, ammonia can combust, making it a viable fuel. Furthermore, since ammonia is combustible and hydrogen is part of its composition, dividing hydrogen is not required, eliminating the need for one of the most complex and cost-ineffective parts of using hydrogen as a propellant. By not separating hydrogen, the need to store it is also eliminated, removing another expensive part of the hydrogen future equation. You can also say goodbye to heavy, large fuel tanks, as ammonia is far less problematic to store than hydrogen. Additionally, ammonia is incredibly plentiful and is the most abundant alkaline gas in the atmosphere, making it exceptionally affordable, surpassing gasoline in terms of cost, let alone hydrogen. Plus, ammonia is much more stable than hydrogen, making it noticeably safer as hydrogen is highly explosive. The only concern with ammonia is to avoid inhaling it. Otherwise, its storage process is identical to that of liquid petroleum gas. Toyota is so enthusiastic about this idea that they have partnered with the Chinese automotive giant GAC to develop their own ammonia-powered engine. They recently created a 2.0-liter i4 engine running on liquid ammonia, which, after extensive testing, proved to be 10 times more eco-friendly than its gasoline counterpart. While this is not a truly zero-emission solution, neither is going fully electric, as both battery production and electricity generation are highly polluting. Moreover, ammonia engines are essentially hydrogen engines with only a few differences, mostly in the fuel injection system. This parallel development of hydrogen as a primary propellant makes it a very future-proof and forward-thinking technology. As we look to the future, the key question is whether hydrogen is the future. While it is still too early to say for sure, hydrogen is shaping up to be the fuel of the future. Despite its current hardships, it is undeniable that hydrogen has the most potential among all other means of powering vehicles. Hydrogen remains the only way to power vehicles without any emissions, and with infrastructure and technology development, it could achieve an incredibly low or even non-existent price tag. Meanwhile, the EV industry has faced backlash in recent years, as lithium-ion batteries have proven insufficient for real-world use while being extremely polluting and expensive to produce. Even after a decade of popularity, EVs remain niche luxury items with high price tags and limited applications, which is precisely what hydrogen aims to fix. While hydrogen may not become popular immediately, Toyota's dedication to developing it alongside the rise of synthetic fuels and the declining popularity of EVs indicates that hydrogen is far from obsolete. Furthermore, ambitious projects like Saudi Arabia's The Line are betting on hydrogen as the main power source for entire cities. The development of other hydrogen-based technologies, such as ammonia engines, will also boost hydrogen's popularity and development. Overall, despite its current problems, hydrogen is expected to rise in the next decade or two to become one of the primary driving forces for humanity.